Hey, welcome, studio. Good morning. You never seen it? I thought you did. I wasn't aware. I thought you did. Just get my programs together here, and then we will be starting shortly. The A show. I like that. I have some ideas for some other ones. Uh, I was thinking of an idea of doing like just making. I'd say like every now and then just make another one, and then just slowly transition the starting soon screen to like a different animation, and just keep adding animations as as I go as time goes on until it's like a just a endless slideshow just over time. At least I don't know. I was thinking about it. I don't know, but I might do other animations too and add it to the starting soon screen. This is 60 frames. I had a version of this that was it was just a static image of my face, but it looked weird that I had a static image and everything else was moving, so I just made like an animated version of myself. So I actually did this kind of twice. Once I saw how it turned out, I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to have a animated static image. So I just animated everything. Now it's only the buildings that don't move now. The static version, okay. I see. I have it somewhere. I think I have it. I might have to boot it up in Photoshop. No, actually, no. I think I did actually export it to a video. Give me 1 second. I was out. I had to go out before I started my stream, and I decided to wash my car because all the pollen and whatnot kind of gave it a little coat, a little green tint. My car is white, so I have to keep it clean, especially during this season. So I am a little bit behind, just a little bit, but we're gonna be getting back on track soon. A second here. Yeah, yeah, it'll get a nice green tint. It don't matter because I have a lot of trees on my street, so it's very noticeable. Oh yeah. Hey, I wish I had a garage and I wanted to worry about street cleaning anymore. One day, one day, I have an apartment. That's what I went to go pay my rent. So first garage. Oh, congratulations. And I just need to grab a couple more things and then we will get started. That'll do. Not me being excited that no one can see when I'm home. Yeah, that's always yeah, especially when you get unannounced visits. You don't have to worry about that anymore. I don't know. Some people. So that doesn't deter some people, but it might. You never know. Okay, almost ready. Give me a second. Just gotta set up all my stuff here, and then we will begin color palette because we're going to do some color today. Okay. All right. Hello. Good morning. Finally, we start. Sorry, I'm a little behind. My name is Ace. I'm a hobbyist. Today, we're going to be working on this picture. I've been working on for the last couple of streams. I made a mistake yesterday. I actually messed up some of the grayscale on this character's face. So I had to spend some extra time yesterday in the evening fixing it. I ended up just doing the grayscale over again. So I'm glad I was able to do that within, the day. So I know that this is for just to gauge how I want the webcomic to look. That's what I'm working on. We're doing a mesh. I am almost done with the mesh. We got I have hands, half the leg and the feet done, and the feet left. And then you'll start seeing that again. Probably after this. So we'll have to think up another digital art piece to do in the meantime. I think it looks like I might be able to go back to that. So you'll be seeing that again. I'm using 3D meshes as reference for my webcomic just for, speed and I guess consistency, because I feel like, okay, studio. I feel like that when I just do it from my head, like I kind of want to draw things better and better the more I draw it. So I think having a reference will help me kind of curb that a little bit for my characters. So I've been creating them in Blender, fully rigged, so I can pose them and whatnot and get the perspective and foreshortening, whatever, for the webcomic. I'm gonna try to do 7 meshes. That should be enough to do the first few scenes of my webcomic. So you'll be seeing some pages sometime in the future. But once what I was doing was I was doing the topology for my high poly mesh, and that's just copying pasting for hours and hours over and over again, a few thousand times. I kind of didn't want to stream that, so I made this picture, and I think something like this is how I want my webcomic to look. This is a character from my little universe that I made. It's the same universe as the webcomic, but she won't be in the webcomic. So I guess sorry if you like this design. You'll maybe one day. I have plans for an animation, and I was thinking about doing one with this character. So you'll see that maybe. But I'm working in grayscale, as you can see. I made the background a little simple because I'm just gonna blur it. But yes, I fixed the mistakes I did yesterday. I figured out everything that I needed to figure out. Uh, I basically erased some of the grayscale without knowing, and you can't see it until you start applying the color. That was the problem I was having. So I have to be cognizant of what I am doing. I think I did accidentally hit the eraser a few times yesterday, and that's what caused it. But um, I don't know if you can see a difference between this picture and the last picture, but I think it turned out a little better since I was like fully focused on. I did it off stream to fix it, just to get back to where I was. And technically, I'm a little behind the progress because I had her hairstyle in color. I mean, it's black, but I had that in color, so I have to do that again. But I was on the face, but we're right there. We're gonna do that now. Okay. Let me see. So we're gonna get started now. Duplicate the layer. I think I will be doing, and this will be the color, base color. You'll be seeing me work some stuff out. I'm gonna try to do what I did for my offline screen. It's a kind of like that was kind of like a test of my new method, I guess, of coloring, because I recently came back to grayscale. When I first started digital art, I would use, when I was learning it, I was using just random gray shades, and that would give my pictures, my first digital pictures, a little bit of a blurry look, and my lines weren't so great back then. But so I what I would do was I improved my lines, okay, my line work to a point. One day I'll show my old art, and then I'll walk you exactly. You'll see exactly what how I drew when I first started doing digital art. I didn't throw any of it away. I kind of wanted to, but that was something that I normally did as a kid. Like if it wasn't good enough in my book, I would just get rid of it. But I do have some of my old art, and I can show you. Actually, I have all my old art, and I'll show that one day. But I saw a method. I was looking at a YouTube video, and somebody brought up grayscale, so I practiced um a different way of doing it using the burn and dodge tool, and I kind of like doing it now. It was, for a couple years I was just doing line and color. And there's more freedom, I think, in doing that, because if you can, like, just, you could take it a whole different direction if something comes to you during the process of doing digital art. But yeah, I kind of like how this is turning out, and I've been adding some texture here and there to the color just to see how it looks. Also, as you can see here, I'm experimenting with hatching. That was something I was never good at, and I want to try to give it a shot. I want to try to add it to my webcomic art. So this is what I have come up with so far, and I hope that I can get this to work for the comic. I have an entire volume written for the comic, and I still gotta. I'm gonna come the next time I do a stream, which will most likely be tomorrow. I'm going to count. I'm gonna do some editing today, and I'm gonna count the pages. I think I think it's like 800 pages of dialogue, and that's not counting the art, and it's a little wordy. So I'm gonna have to draw extra pages so that way I don't have walls of text. And but I have a pretty good idea of how I want it to look as far as like the panels and how all the scenes will look, and things like that, and having the meshes will help with that as well. So it should be good. It should be all right. Hopefully, very sometime very soon, I can start finally doing pages, because this has been a few years coming. I wasn't really um satisfied with the final look of the art, so I kept working on it. And and I think I'll show like what I've at one day what I've like where I was when I first started drawing again, because I didn't draw when I wrote the story. I took like 3 years off of drawing. I wrote the story in 3 years. Like I just kept writing, and I wanted to get it all out because I had done some research. I researched other webcomics and like how people did their webcomics, and like a lot of them fail because they like they do the story as they go along, and they don't know where to take it. They end up writing themselves into a corner. Seen a lot of webcomics fail because of that, and I wanted to avoid that. I wanted to see where people went wrong with their webcomic. If it's more than one person. Sorry, hold on. I gotta get my brush. When it's more than one person, it might be like some dispute, or they grow apart, something like that, and the webcomic isn't finished there. It's just me doing this, so I don't have to worry about that. And I'm not a I'm not really this is like my first real writing effort. I put a lot of effort into this, but I'm an amateur writer, so we'll see how that turns out. I spend a lot of time away from the comic, and I come back and read it when I edit it, and it makes sense to me. I don't know, maybe it's because I wrote it. I don't know, but I think it's a pretty good story. I think there will be some enjoyment in it for those who are not me. It's about a some college students that find a secret government project, and they try to use it to. It's like a world government, like a secret world government project, like an Illuminati type government, they have this secret science project that these people that the students come across, and they try to use it to save one of their friends that is terminally ill, and that's what kicks off the story because um of course, you know, the this world government finds out about it. So there's that. It's a little sci-fi. It's got some fantasy elements in it. It's in my universe, so that my universe kind of has a little bit of everything. But I'm going to try to. The main focus here is science fiction, so it'll that's the main genre. There's drama, there's action, there's all kinds of stuff. As soon as I secure my domain, because I keep putting that past. I keep forgetting to do that. I gotta get a domain ready for my comic, and I think uh my one of my friends is also setting up their own hosting, so I can host it there too, and as well as other places on the internet. I'm just gonna put it everywhere where I can, where it's applicable. But it's gonna have its own website. I'll have the link below when that's ready. It'll be mostly under construction. I think I might hold off until I actually have something to show because I don't want it to be like an under the construction screen for like a long time. I've seen that a lot, you know, growing up. And one site in particular that I was very excited for this person's work, which was an animation. I think it was an old animation on Newgrounds called Fallen Angel, and it was like one of the best animations. This was like back in 2004. This is one of the best animations on that site at the time. There's a lot of great animators there nowadays, but that was a standout back then. And they I don't think they ever got that series off the ground. I think they did like one episode and that was it. It was a teaser, and then it was like part one, part two, and part three of episode one. Like they split the first episode into three parts. And but if you see the work that he put into it, it's like you kind of understand that it's yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of work. It was, you know, it had the voice acting. It was very well animated. I wanted to. It was one of the inspirations of me doing an animation, which I still haven't done yet. But you know, as you can see here on my channel, I have dabbled in animation for my channel, and I think I have a an idea. I'm gonna learn how to do it in Blender as well, the animation. But I favor frame by frame, freehand. I've never used tweening, but you know, if I can find some way to get that to work on in my animation in some way, shape, or form, I'll do that too. I'm not really um particular about how it's animated, but it's mostly frame by frame because that is like it's something that catches my eye more than most kinds of animation. And I guess 3D, but I've never done 3D before. But since I am doing meshes, I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to go back a little bit because I can see that I'm still affecting my grayscale underneath. So we want to avoid as many opportunities to smudge that as much as possible, which means I got to do the whole thing in one go. I'm painting directly over the grayscale on this, so I have to make sure I don't erase anything or make any mistakes. I like to color it by hand because this is still kind of a new method for me, and paint buckets and things like that don't seem to work very well with this method, so I'm just painting it all in one go. So we're going to go to the face, and I'm just putting in base colors here, and we'll go from there, basically. I'm going to increase my brush size. I just want to get around, wait, let me get around the eyes. Actually, well, let me just increase my brush size now. But yeah, that's the plans I have. I decided I was gonna wait until I was ready to do the pages to start streaming again because I did stream a little bit, a little off and on. I didn't really take it as seriously. I kind of just streamed when I felt like it, and it was just games and stuff. Like whenever I played a game, I would just stream it and just not have a mic or a camera. But yeah, I did variety stuff. And but I decided to focus on, like, I was really wanted to do like a big art project, and I just never really got it off the ground. So I said, let me finally do something here. So I started uh, doing the writing a webcomic, and I stopped streaming. And then, but yeah, I was going to wait until I had some pages to and stream that. But I said, you know what? I can just stream I could just start streaming now, basically. So I started doing it, and I'm just doing this basically for fun. It's just whatever. I enjoy drawing a lot, and I usually draw in the morning, so this is the time that I am going to be coming on streaming. I might do a little more in the future, though, once I get a more stable schedule. So we're going to go around the jaw here. I might adjust the opacity of uh, the hatching. I kind of like it as it is now. It's very fine lines, but I kind of want the lines to blend into the color a little bit. I don't want the solid black lines on over the color. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just I feel like I want to experiment and see how it looks with the lower opacity. So I'm going to go around here. Okay. I gotta get my ears here. And I should probably take the black lines out so I can see underneath. Let me see here. Oops, that's the color. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna leave it. I don't need the color inside because the black lines are gonna be there. Even if I lower the opacity, you should still be able to see the color under there. Thanks, studio. I you got one day I'm gonna show how it like I said this before, like I just said this, but one day I'm going to show how the web comic was going to look right after I started. I finished my writing, which was like a few years ago, I think. It was a little rough, so I kept trying to improve the art before I started doing the pages. Oops, it's not what I want. Or not on the right thing. Oh, don't be. It's probably just whatever. Yeah, this is probably. I'll turn up a little bit. It's probably the music itself, but I grabbed that one's. That's a remix of a video game that I grabbed off of YouTube. Did you try out that Blender pack from Humble Bundle yet? I did not. I got it though. I did get it. I do have it, so it's secure. I can send it. I can send it to you guys, but I'll take a look at it. I definitely got it. I just got to get the keys and Oh, okay, cool. No, I did not, because right now, I mean, the only thing that I would need from that. Oh, okay, yeah. Already told him that. Oh, okay, yeah. I told him that I would just get it and I would just have it that way. If he ever wanted it, I can just send it to him. But I'm going to definitely take a look at the lighting and the environmental stuff. I feel like my method for doing at least humans anyway. It just just the refining will come with practice. That's all really they just really need to be like refined a little bit more. I think I'm pretty satisfied for what it is, and the characters that I do are not going to look hyper real or super realistic like those. I mean, well, they're as close as realistic as I can get currently, with my skill level. But It's going to be more like this, with a, like a stylized, semi-realistic look. So they'll serve their purpose in that regard. I seen they've been dropping a lot of assets for games. So because I've been tempted to start learning the programming side of making a video game with the bun because I got a pack off of that too. But I think I'm not gonna use any. I mean, even though those are free assets, I think I'm just gonna just make my own assets for my game. I think that would be best. But yeah, they have a lot of assets on that they have right now. They actually just sent me an email yesterday. They're like, "Oh yeah, you want your your Unreal Blender assets, free assets." Well, it's not free. You gotta buy the pack, but it's like a bunch of assets in the pack. I guess like I don't know, like bookshelves or something, trees. I don't think it's that hard making a tree in Blender. It's all really just time saving, which is fine if you really want to get your game out right then and there. But I'm in no rush. I'd rather take the Nintendo stance on it and just take as much time on it as I possibly can. I Everybody, all the game devs that I watch, they all say that you should start small. Um, but everything that I want to do is like hyper complicated because I don't know. That's just that it's something that really that it tickles my brain when I have something like a something complicated to work with. But it takes mad long. Like just even this webcomic, I put a lot into the story, so and it took a while for me to get it right. And I'm still editing it to make sure it all still makes sense and whatnot. So, but yeah, I'm trying to think of the smallest thing that I can think of that I might be willing to do is like a beat 'em up, and even that's not really small because I want to do something that has never been done in a beat 'em up before. So, yeah, that'll be something if I ever get to it anytime soon. I want to do a beat 'em up, a RPG, and a action adventure game, which I guess would also be an RPG. I kind of want to do a horror game too, but I'm not like a horror. I'm not an expert on horror, so that's gonna take some. Sorry, that's if you can hear that. That is not. That's from my Echo Show. Okay, where we at? Okay, I'm just putting the base color here. It's a little turned out a little bit more red than expect. Oh, I know why because it's actually a shadow from the grayscale. But yeah, I'm just laying in the base color here. Do a neck. Then onto the gold chain. So I'm gonna have to go a little closer in there so we don't make it sloppy. Sometimes like my doing like really fine areas or really small areas, things get a little sloppy. But I want to try to not do that. And as you can see here, this is another thing. Things like this in the hatching. I mean, you ain't gonna be able, probably won't be able to zoom in that far. Oh yeah, I gotta do that too. See, kind of messed up there. Whoops. Make sure that all of this is nice and neat. I don't want anything like this in the comic. So in practice, I want to do it as if I am making this a page in my comic. But what's funny is that this is a common thing even in professional stuff. If you have something that's high resolution, you zoom in, you can see the mistakes they made too, because they're on a deadline. So I mean, it's a given that there's going to be some things that are missed. But since it's scaled down so much for whatever project that they're doing, you're not going to see those mistakes. That is something I learned recently. That's now that's no excuse. to make mistakes. You know, you want to try to do, I want to try to do the best that I possibly can with this. But I'm just saying that things like this are, then, if you're doing a project of your own and uh and you see a mistake in the finished product, don't feel so bad. Don't beat yourself up too much about it, because it's something that everyone does, and to some extent. But we're going to make sure that we minimize this as much as possible for the webcomic art. I'm trying to see, like, I think what I was thinking about doing is I'll just I'll do as much as I can on stream, and then for the pages anyway, do as much as I can on stream, and then try to clean up and tighten up whatever off stream so it's good. My goal is to do daily uploads, but realistically, I can do maybe two uploads a week on a website somewhere. One would be like the safe bet, once a week, but it's two is pretty common, so I could probably manage that. But I want to be able to do one page every day, and that means that if I do that, I can stream a portion of the page on stream, and then just do the rest off stream. If it comes down to it, if I feel like that's a goal that I could safely reach, I'll probably do it that way. Originally, I was gonna just color over this again, but uh, we're going to just fix the colors now before I go forward. I want to make sure that I get everything. I'm gonna have to start zooming in a little bit more. Yeah, that's the goal. It's gonna be a lot of pages I'm gonna have to do. I think when just going by a page count for normal comics and manga, and guesstimating, like, just with the dialogue alone, it's going to be like 50 to 80 issues. If I put out an issue monthly, that's like 4 years of doing pages, unless I do it every day. If I do a daily upload, it'll be quicker than that, but I don't know. It's going to be a lot. I just want a buffer, really, so I can work on other things while I'm doing the webcomic. If I could do that, that'd be great. Like, if I could just have like a bunch of pages on hand to upload, then that'll allow me to work on other things too. My goal is to do the entire, because I have a prologue, Act One, Act Two, uh, Act Three, and Act Four. It'll stop at 4 acts, I think, for the entire volume. And my goal is to have the entirety of the prologue completely done, and then just post all of it at once, and then have some of Act One done, so that way I could stay ahead of the schedule. That's what I want to do. When I'm done with the pages, I'm not going to post them right away just yet. I want to have a little buffer. So if I need to take a break from drawing, I can do that and still have pages. That way, if there are people out there who want to read it and keep up with it, they don't have to wait too long. If they won't have to wait at all. If I want to take a break, I'll have pages. I can just keep posting them for however long I take a break for. Just in case. You don't want to burn yourself out. I like drawing. I don't think I've ever really burned myself out. Yeah, actually, I did. Yeah, when I first started digital art, I burned myself out because I was trying to like really get it. I was trying to really learn how to do it, because I'm a on paper person, and I was drawing so much that every time I drew it, it just got worse and worse. So I took some time off. It was kind of weird. I was like, man, this is worse than the last one. What happened? I just kept drawing every time. Like, whenever I completed something, I just draw something again, like, immediately. And those pictures were, in hindsight, kind of bad. Like, I don't know. I don't know why I didn't spend any more time with it. They were pretty bad. Oh man. They still have like very little little things here and there with the line. Like the line art is kind of was kind of my weak point. That should be like the foundation of the entire picture. My line arts, my lines were pretty bad, and as I've shown you with the hatching, some of that still needs work. But as far as line weight, I'll just smudge that. As far as line weight is concerned, I've my art has improved much better because I didn't do that at first. I just drew all under one line weight, and it kind of made it look boring. Yes, I've started adding, more and more. What I would do is, if there was like strong contrast between light and dark, like if she was like in an alleyway or something and being lit by a street light or something over here, then I would put thicker lines on this side in the dark. But since she's outside, I have the thin lines on both sides and just have the thicker lines like in the dark areas, like between her breast and her arm, like that there. And plus, this is a black jacket, so I wasn't doing that before. I was just drawing. I was just drawing. The lines was like I was sketching the line art too. It was just imagine like a really rough sketch, but with thick black lines. That's how I was doing it, and I was posting that online. I was like, oh man. It's like when I got to a certain point, I was very embarrassed with my old work. I wanted to like try to scrub it off the net, and I had it on this forum, and I was trying to get the moderator to delete it because it's like a place where you could showcase your art. I was like, hey, can you delete this whole thread? Because I feel like I need to just start over on it. But he convinced me not to do it. He said I should not be ashamed of my art. And yeah, he could, and I kind of agree with him, so I didn't do it. So I've ever since then, and this was right before I started doing my web comment when before I started writing it. I started like moving away from being ashamed of my art. One of my goals for this channel here one day is I'll do a channel point redeem where you can where if if I ever do that, if I ever make get the ability to do that, I can for some channel points I will showcase my old that same art and then explain where I was coming from that. My entire process because I remember everything that I drew and why I drew it, and I should be able I'll be able to show like 99% of it. There's like two things that I did that were NSFW. I can't really show that on Twitch, and it's not really like bad. It's just one is like one is kind of a like a nude thing. It's not really nude, but it's kind of and the other one I might actually be able to show, but I don't know. Like you can see the entire form of the person's body, so it's I don't know if I should show that on Twitch. But other than that, I can show everything else. It's not really a big deal. I didn't draw those things with Twitch in mind. Twitch was still new when I was drawing that stuff, and I wasn't even on Twitch at the time. Kind of wish I was. It would have been cool, like to be able to actually do this back then. I would have done it, but I didn't know anything about Blender back then. I barely knew anything about digital art, so it probably would not have happened. I never really the thought of streaming my art never really occurred to me until uh, sometime during or after I was writing the story. Never really thought about doing that, and I saw that people were doing it. I was like, oh, huh, that's pretty cool. I thought people just did games and just chatting stuff or whatever else, craft stuff. I've only ever seen game stuff, you know. Unless the person that normally played games did a just chatting. That was the only time I really seen just chatting. There's all kinds of stuff you can peruse in just chatting, but I don't know much about that category. Besides the obvious, of course, you know, the whole hot tub stuff. I know that that people do that, but I normally just watch games or art stuff. I was watching somebody do. I've been watching people do RP stuff, like role playing stuff, and like in Grand Theft Auto or Red Dead. Yeah, some of those people, man, they are hilarious, man. Pretty creative. They just get into this whole character, and you know, just whatever happens, you know, happens. And then there's like a bunch of other people who are also role playing. It normally they don't do that on vanilla servers, like on actual the game servers. They make private servers and they build their whole rule set off of that, and like like it's like strict rules to even play the server. But it's very fascinating, and some people are really good at it. I've never tried my hand at role playing. It feels kind of awkward and cringy to me when I try to. When I did the one time I did, there was one time I did. It was Star Wars Galaxies, and I was playing with I wasn't really role playing, but I was playing with somebody who was role playing. I was like, oh, I felt so awkward. I was like, oh, all right. I just went along with it. And then they met some other role players, and they were all in their little thing. They were pretending like they were actually bounty hunters, and I was there. And then the only thing that I could think of was a movie quote. I was like, I don't even remember what I said. I think it was like, I think I said easier than shooting Womp back home, and then that was it. And everybody started laughing. You know, I was like, all right. It felt so weird, but that was like my only role playing experience. I did a movie quote because I felt like I had to say something. I don't know. I'm just standing there. I'm like everybody's pretending to be a bounty hunter and actual Tatooine. I was like, all right, I guess now I'm a bounty hunter on Tatooine for real now. I couldn't do it. I don't know. Sometimes I create characters. Um, I create my OCs in a video game and develop them that way. Like if there's a like if I'm currently like making up a character, I'll make them in a video game and then try to understand like what decisions they would and won't do. I feel like that kind of helps sometimes. Like if I take that route, normally I don't need help, but you know, I find that it does help sometimes. You know, in creating like motivations for a character or whatnot in another medium. That's the closest to RP that I could do. Is just making an OC or something and trying to develop what kind of person they are during the course of playing a video game or something. But I typically have a pretty good idea of the character when I make a character for a story. But I wonder if there's anyone else who does that out there. Like if someone like if you have an OC in mind, you're like, huh, I'm just gonna create this OC in this game, and then like, do you just like what does this person do? Do they just play the OC, or do they try to like actually like develop the actual personality and motivations and whatnot for whatever game that you're playing, and then transfer all that stuff to your story? I think I have done that before. I mean, well, I know I have done that before, but I can't remember the first time. I don't know if it was like a subconscious thing, but I know I've done it. I'm gonna do the chains. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay, we got to get all the way in now. Going to attempt to clean up some of this color here. It's a little sloppy, but it's all right. You won't be able to see that. So I'm going to scale this down because this is at a high resolution. I'd have to scale it down anyway. I'm gonna start posting my art again somewhere on some website. We'll see. I don't have a DeviantArt anymore, but I'm gonna find a. Oh yeah, I think I have Instagram. I guess I could do that. I'll make sure it's nice and good before I post it though. Nice and ready. Probably just do like some touch ups or something before I post it. It should be good though. I think it's all. I think it's turned out pretty well. Just these little things, these little places here where I didn't fully color it in. I gotta really not do that, especially for the webcomic. Kind of wanted to look semi-professional, when I'm done. So we'll see. But like I said, I'm an amateur. I just wanted to kind of look like something worth reading. All right, let's do this. You have the black line there, so I can just color right into that. Yeah, that's not really. I don't worry about it. What I will worry about though is this. Okay, we're gonna go around that. I'm gonna make sure. I'm trying not to smudge it too much because I am affecting every layer underneath of the color. So we're going to make sure that we don't smudge it too much, just enough. I have to keep the integrity of the shading here intact. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the chain now. We're gonna make this look like metal as well, and it's gonna be definitely some time spent on this chain eventually to accomplish that. I'm not um I'm not great at metal. I can make something look like metal, I guess, but it would be nice trying to shine this gold up. Right now it's dull. It's gonna be nice and shiny when we're done with it. Hopefully. Okay, I left that blank. There's no chains under there, so that's gonna be skin. So I'm gonna have to paint the skin in. And get to my uh, palette. I have a color palette that I put together. I'm going to use. Oh, okay. I see that the chain is it's a little warped here, but that's okay. I'm just gonna leave that. You're not gonna be able to see that. All right. Okay, the chain is not. This chain is not connected with this part of the chain, but that's okay. It'll be our secret. I put some of the shading in the chain here, and you see there's some shine there. We'll see how it turns out. Plus, we're going to paint over this as well. So anything that needs to be touched up, can just touch it up. Okay, back to the chains now. Make sure that I think there was a in that tutorial pack. I think there was an animation one too. I want to definitely take a look at that. They have one for environments for rigging, which I don't really need. I have a rigging method already. I can do it manually or with a generated rig. I have an add-on that just makes a rig, and then you just basically just attach it to your character. I've done it manually, and there's literally no difference. Um, I tested them in sorry, not in Unreal, in Unity. I did test my rigs in Unity, but we're not going to use Unity anymore. And yes, it's because of the controversy. It's not something that angers me greatly, but you know, if I make a game in Unity, I feel like that will affect people will not be happy that it's in Unity, and I don't want that to be a factor in its success or failure. So we're going to just go to another either Godot or Unreal. I don't have any stake in what Unity does with their. I mean, I don't agree with it, of course, but it doesn't affect me in one bit. It's except for the fact that I probably shouldn't use Unity because of what other people might decide to do or not do as far as consuming your video game. So, and plus all the stuff that I have is for other engines anyway. But I did use Unity to test my rigs, and I know they work, at least the manual ones. And yeah, it's very, very interesting because you can put the rig on, and then you import the whole file into Unity, and then you can test it with mocap animations. They have mocap animations built in into the game, and then you can just and it was very interesting watching something you create move like a person. It's very, very, very interesting. Doing that for the first time. I don't know if Unreal has something. I'm sure Unreal has something like that. Oh, hey, 99. Good morning. Oh, don't worry about it. We're just we're starting the base color, and I am talking about testing rigs in Unity, my experience with that, and also a little bit on why I won't be using Unity moving forward. But yes, it's it's very interesting. Well, I hope you have I hope you had a good morning so far. I'm pretty sure you just woke up now, but you know, but I hope you're having a great day. You might have started a little late, but it's gonna be all right. I had to get up and I got up and ran some errands and then washed my car because I had a coat of pollen on it. But other than that, I'm doing great. I didn't cook anything this morning. Actually, because I wanted to kind of start on time, so I just went and while I was out, I got some McDonald's. I don't normally eat McDonald's, so instead of cooking breakfast like I normally do, I got some fast food. It's been a long time since I ate McDonald's. I think my body thanks me for that as well. So overall, a lot better. I'm still slowly over time, just reducing sugar, but I got a soda with my McDonald's meal and an apple pie as well. I got a steak bagel and egg sandwich. That was my go-to, other than a sausage McMuffin. If it wasn't that, it was the steak. Oh, I was wondering what the heck was going on. My opacity was. I was going to say I know I did not use my eraser here. I figured out why. Sometimes when I color over a layer, it doesn't show. I thought that was happening again, but I've been paying attention to what I'm doing now. So um, basically, if I use the eraser at all, I have to replace whatever I erase with the layer, the color underneath, or it won't show when I burn it or color it. So I figured it out. Basically, just don't make any mistakes that require an eraser. And I almost thought that was happening again. I was like, I don't remember erasing anything around the chain. Basically, got to do it all in one go, and or Control Z. I normally control Z. So I'm gonna paint in the chain here a little bit. These little minor mistakes here ain't gonna be shown, but I'm gonna try to fill them in anyway. Make sure that we get it done right. As you can see, some filling in is required. Okay, I'm gonna change my color here to the chains. I'm gonna fill it in with another, it's gonna make it brighter. We don't want to do that just yet. So I'm gonna smudge all that into the base. We don't want to brighten it yet. Going to need to get into the chains a little bit. Okay. Smudge that, smudge that. Okay. I am doing this, right? Okay. Okay, I was gonna say, because I see like it's not, it seems like it's not doing anything, but I guess I'm not smudging it enough. I made another mistake here. I put the hatching over the chain, but that's okay. Like I said, it doesn't have to be super perfect. Just decent, decent to get the point across and to at least have a good quality. I mean, no one's going to be zooming in on a page, and you're not going to. It's not going to be at this resolution. So, but we're going to try to do as good as possible. So what we're going to do now. We're going to continue on with the chain. Okay, it looks like there's not a lot of space in between the links here. I made a mistake right here. We're gonna just color that in with the base color of the gold here. Whoops. You know, I'm just gonna color that part in. Why not? Why the heck not? Okay, let's see. Keep going. Dang, that's not even connected. I don't know what I was thinking there. Normally, this is where when I do my line art, I'm this close to it, so I don't do that thing. But this time when I drew, I was drawing from like max distance for most of it. I think that's why that happened like that. I don't know though. They say that you should not do your line art this close, but I guess I'm glad that you know, I'm starting to not have to do that. But I want to do it. I want to at least color it this close so I fill everything in. So I know it's filled, because when I color backward, when I color like far out, that causes me to miss the little nooks and crannies of the line art. I'm just gonna color that in because there should be a line there, but there isn't for whatever reason. Don't tell anyone that I made those mistakes, okay? Okay. So, okay, we're gonna finish doing the bigger chain necklace. Or it looks like just a chain at this point. Actually was not going, that's kind of accidental, so whoops. But I was using a necklace that had like a chain link design to it, but I made the the necklace bigger than it was in the reference, and now it looks like an actual chain. I think she's about to do a rap video or something, but that's okay. We're gonna go with it. I know some people like to wear the chain with the lock around it. I don't know if people still do that, but I feel like that's a goth or alternative look, right? I'm pretty sure that would classify as that. So it was not. This isn't too far off from her overall look. Black jacket and all that stuff. All right. So I missed a little link there. Okay. I'm just gonna keep looking. What the heck I'm doing here. We don't have to keep zooming out like that. I mean, there's really nothing to look at here. I already did the face. I'm just looking at the chain from a distance. But I'm working on areas that you can't really see at a distance. I need to fill that in. I still have to get used to doing this on stream because I see that I make more mistakes than than when I'm not streaming. When I'm not streaming, I see almost everything. I make very few mistakes when I'm not streaming. That's just something I get used to. And you may notice, if you've seen these streams or the VODs, that sometimes I stop drawing for a bit. I want to get better at talking and drawing, so it doesn't bother me at all. And if I see a mistake after I stream, I'll just fix it right then and there. If I'm already past that point, I'll just fix it. Like I said yesterday, I messed up the face, like in the darkness. I accidentally at some point I must have hit I remember when I hit the button too. I hit a button on my stylus that went to the eraser, and I erased some of the shadow from her face. So when I colored it, it was like the pure color. It was like her grayscale on the light side, and then like pure color on the other side, and it looked mad jarring and incorrect. And what would have fixed it was, I mean, I saw that I could just try to blend it back together, but it wouldn't have all of the details that I put in. So what I did was I just started all the way back over. I erased all seven of these layers and started at square one and got back to where I was when I ended the stream in a few hours. Like it only took me a few hours to do it. So I'm also drawing slower on stream than I normally would off stream. I'm sorry. I wanna try to get better at that, so that way I can have the same speed and accuracy that I do off stream that I on stream. Because then I could start earlier and actually complete something in one stream. If Twitch allows me to stream it, because I had some connection issues yesterday too. Hopefully that doesn't happen today. I know it's Twitch because I've already adjusted my settings to the point where that should not happen. I have the right bit rate, I have the right codec, and I switched to a closer server, and it's been fine for weeks. So I know that yesterday was not on me. That was on Twitch. It's just a pain to take all the VODs and edit them together. I use a pro when that happens, when I have a stream or a connection interruption, I have to take the VODs into another program and merge them together and then post them on my archive. So you won't see it on the archive. You'll see that there's skips. I did not edit anything. It's because, and I say that in the description too, it's because Twitch had cut the feed on me. Hopefully my ISP won't do that, because sometimes that they reset my connection for whatever reason. I don't know if it's just a thing that they do or what, but I might switch to a different ISP though, because the one that I have right now it does that frequently enough to where if I am playing, well, not frequently enough, it's every now and then, it's like occasionally, but if they do it during a stream or if I'm playing something that requires me to be online, it's a little annoying. And every now and then that does happen. I think on one of my off days they actually reset my connection during one of my stream. Like if I was streaming that day, it would have been during the stream. It was like around 11, which is normally when I'm already streaming by that point. So I'm glad it didn't happen when I was streaming, but it happened when I went on one of my off days, which was Thursday, I believe. So because I don't typically stream on Thursdays or Fridays lately. I want to stream on Friday, but sometimes I can't do it. So I might not stream this Friday either. it's for now. Expect a stream for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday until further notice. I'll probably put that on my Twitter. I don't really use Twitter like that, but I mean, I guess I'll use it for the purpose of my art and my stream. Link is below. Okay, we're gonna keep going with the chain here. It looks like the same color, but I think the chain is actually, yeah, the chain is a couple shades lighter than the eye, but since it's on grayscale, they look like the same color. Not that that matters. I'm just making an observation here. All right. Let's see. Let me get get a get the rest of this chain going, and then we're going to have to do the rest of the neck, and then we'll paint the skin around it, and we're going to move on. Now, I have a, you know, I don't know. Apparently, a lot of people don't plan for color theory. I'm going with a lot of cool colors in this picture. Besides her eyes and the light are yellow, but everything else is blue, green, and her shirt is purple. I'm thinking because I feel like that's gonna. I don't know. I feel like that would. Well, I don't know. I chose purple because of the gold, and then blue and green. Purple and gold apparently are complementary in the color theory thing. And then the background's blue and green. I guess that could work. Red lipstick, green, blue. I'm only missing orange because blue is like opposite to orange, right? On the color wheel. So I think the color palette's okay, but I'm not an expert with that. That's something that I have to work on as well. I know a lot of people don't take that into account when they color their pictures. Sometimes people learn from other people's color palettes, but I thought that I looked at the color wheel and color theory more than once over the course of my art life, so I kind of know it. But um, I wanted to try to apply that with this picture. I think it'll be okay, but I was toying with the idea of changing the shirt to a blue shirt because then it would. I feel like it would blend in with the environment more. Well, not with the environment. It was just the palette would be more. I don't know. The shirt wouldn't stand out as much. But I did choose it because of the gold color. So I don't know. We'll see. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I'll just keep it in mind for next time. Okay, let me blend in the gold here. And we will continue on with the rest of the necklaces. I just gave her I just gave her like a little necklace set. Apparently there's a set of necklaces, and I've seen ads where you have this type of necklace where it's like a necklace with like a little gold bar on the end. That was kind of I see like a lot of ads online about that. You could have a gold bar, like a gold or silver or copper or bronze bar, and you could put like a name on it or something. I said, why not? So I put that. I made her have that, and like a coin and a ring, like a little necklace set. I didn't want to Mr. T her out, or well, actually thought about it, to be honest, but I decided against it. And I didn't want to go the Frank Miller route either, where he would put like 30 crosses on a character. I was like, why are they wearing so many crosses? They have like, they have the earring crosses too, and then they have like 15 more on around their neck. It's like, what the, like, wow, what do you got? What are you trying to ward off here? But yeah, the thought did cross my mind, but I didn't want to do like an homage to Frank Miller. So I just gave her a regular necklace set. Thankfully, this is actually a thing, like a necklace set. Normally, people just wear one necklace, but there are necklace sets. So I went with this idea. That was my thing going behind it. let me go on ahead and get the, I'm going to try to, hang on, I'm going to put some, I'm going to refine that. I'm going to clean that up a little bit. Let me go back to the skin real quick before we go on to the rest of the necklaces. Okay. Do that. And I'll just smudge that together because we don't want the colors to stand out like that on the base color, at least not yet. I'm going to smudge that. I just want to make sure that we get all the little mistakes that I left there on the little areas I didn't color in. Smudge it. I'm using a skin texture brush so that way there's something you won't notice it, but there's something there. All right, now we got to get in between the larger links here. Okay, I feel the sneeze coming on. Give me a second. Oh, excuse me. Ooh. Must be the pollen. It doesn't normally affect me. I think only when it's really bad, because I don't really have allergies, but when it's really bad, I feel it. I feel it in my lungs. That was like a couple weeks ago, but I'm good. Some of my other family members are affected by that more, like more than I am. I'm not really. That really doesn't bother me. Only cut grass really. I kind of like makes my throat scratchy. Otherwise, I don't mind spring at all. Got hot pretty well. I don't know. I guess it's it's getting close to May, so it's almost May. So yeah, expect the heat. The heat is returned once again. It's pretty hot yesterday, but it was all right until when I got back. It was still pretty cool in here, except when I turned on my oven. Because I decided to cook something, so I turned on my oven. And then it was hot for the rest of the day. Like I couldn't get the heat out. I had to turn on my AC. I was like, oh man, I should not have used my oven today. Today we're gonna try to keep it nice and cool because I don't need to cook anything today. So, okay, see this changes ends, and I don't know why I missed that. And of course, it ends over here too. I could draw it in, and I probably will. I'm not gonna worry about it right now though. I will fix that. I totally didn't see that until now. It must have been a part of the sketch that I forgot to line. You don't want to make mistakes like that in the webcomic. But it's no big deal. We'll fix it. Okay. I should turn everything off and see. Yeah. I still have the sketch. As you can see, right there is a little bit of it. I just did not line it for some reason. So that's okay though. We'll fix that. We don't have to leave it that way. I'll just paint it in. All right. Let's move on. I'm going to go down into the coin. I'll just fill that in now. I put some very simple lighting on it. It's weird lighting a coin from the top because you'll get the shadow from whatever it's embroiled with. You'll get the shadow in the embroidery, but the rest of the coin is going to be like pretty much just bright all around. So it was kind of tricky doing that. Like you'll have the shadow behind. Like I put a head on this coin here. It's an embroidery. The only shadow you get from this coin would be like under the draw line of the head and behind the head, and that's it. Everything else is bright. It's just a very lot of it's a very luster lusterly luster I don't know lusterful I don't know lustrous, is that the word? It's a very shiny surface there. We'll just say it the simple way. All right, I'm gonna do the other side. Okay. All right. That's something. I put some shine in it with the grayscale, so I know where I'm gonna shine it in at. It'll be shiny as well in the even in the shadow a little bit because you're gonna have some light reflecting off of the jacket and off of this gold, so you'll see that in the gold as well. Let me see if I can go on ahead, finish this. Put down the chain here. Okay. Made a little mistake there. I might actually be able to fix that right now. Yeah, we can do it. It's because I painted it in from far away. I know exactly what I did. And then there's this here. We can blend that in. I'll probably spend some time before, when I'm done just touching up all the little things like this on the picture so that way it's not in the finished product. That one's a little bit more noticeable because that's in the shadow, but it's not that noticeable from here. I wonder if it's right up under. Hold on, let me check a look at my reference real quick of a gold chain. If it's right up on the skin and it's shining, does that reflect off the skin as well? Doesn't look like it. Not in the shadow, anyway. I can see that it's shining in the shadow, but not. You don't really see the reflection on the skin. Okay, I just wanted to check that, see if there's anything. I mean, that's a detail you probably, even if that were the case, like if the light source was bright enough to do that, it probably wouldn't be noticeable in this picture because the chain is so small. So okay, I'm going to do the ring now. Go around there. I don't. Yeah, it's like a. Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't remember what I was going for here with this necklace that I haven't colored in yet. How it's done. But I see now it's like a very loose chain link, like a very long chain link that it and but it's a long chain link with circular chain links. I don't think that's in the I don't think that was in a reference. I just did it. I'm pretty sure a necklace like that exists. If it doesn't, oh well. All right, so we're going to go on ahead and do this necklace now. I'm going to try to not do it sloppily. Because this link is much more thinner than these lines here. So we're going to go in and like closer. I can see that I'm facing kind of away from the mic. I have a 4090, and I do not want it's kind of loud. I don't want it to show up in the audio, and I'm super surprised that it hasn't yet. But I can hear it no matter where I am in my apartment. I can hear my 4090. I'm glad that the noise gate works as well as it does. But I'm still a little cautious about it. I keep the mic away, but since I'm facing this way and the mic is over here, I want to make sure that it not too low. All right, we're going to do a little bit more of these chains. It's going to be nice and warm today. Make sure you're drinking a lot of water. No, I am. I'm gonna try to drink as much as possible. All right. Let's see. I mean, it looks all right. Gonna put the shine. We're gonna make it nice and shiny, but that'll be later. Right now, we're just doing base color. I kind of made some of these links a little sloppy, but we're just gonna go with it. This hatching can be done better next time. I mean, I could just do it over because it's on its own layer, but I'll just I'll do it when the next picture I draw and I do the hatching. I'm going to make sure that I don't have like these little hooks on the end and it's not like scratched in. Some people can get away with doing, like, if they're really good at cross hatching or just hatching in general, even if they do it sloppy, it just looks good. I don't know how they make it look that way. I don't know. Every time I do it sloppy, it just looks like it's sloppy. Doesn't look right to me. But when I see other cross hatching that's like very loose, it just looks good. I was like, well, I thought maybe I could. I was like, okay, I could just hatch it and it'll look good, but no, no, it doesn't. There's a method to it that I'm not. There's something that I'm not getting. Do that. Maybe it's just experience. I don't know. Like I said, I don't do this. I don't do hatching is still fairly new, and I haven't practiced it, so maybe a couple more exercise. I'll probably do some regular exercises with hatching to get better at it. It's really all it takes is practice. I like doing single hatching. I don't like when I do cross hatching. It just looks so bad. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. One day I'm gonna try it, but I don't like cross hatching. Maybe it's because it's not straight enough. I don't know, or it just doesn't follow the form of the surface. Like this here, I kind of just did that, and this is on the necklace. I have to keep that in mind next time when I do it to make these lines a little bit more neater. But from a distance, it doesn't look bad, so I just don't want it to look flat. Because I remember the first couple of times I did hatching, it made the picture look more flat than it should have been. And I think that's just because I just hatched over the picture without it following the form. That is not the way to do it. I've been looking at a lot of Italian artists because there are quite a few of them that are very good at hatching, and I want to emulate that in some way. I think we are done with the gold though. Okay, I guess we're gonna go back to the skin. I think the first person that really caught my eye with hatching was Jim Lee. He does it too. He's very good at it, but it's like more of a comic book style hatching. It's kind of like this, because that's kind of similar to what I'm doing. It's like the solid blacks, but then it hatches into the solid. I didn't do that. My hatching and the solid blacks are actually separate, but yeah, I don't want to. I did my first couple of years of being influenced by comic art. Jim Lee was definitely one of those influences, but I think he was the only one out of the ones that I were influenced by that did that. I guess there was some minor hatching in Liefeld and McFarlane's work, but not to the extent of Jim Lee. Oh, and maybe Capullo, maybe I don't know. I have to look again. But those were those are some of the main influences on my art. Yes, even yes, Liefeld. I know that's like I know people make fun of his art now, but um, he was one of the most popular artists at the time. Still is, I guess. And now his characters are making Marvel all kinds of money, like Deadpool. I saw it, if you've seen the trailer, they actually have his name in the trailer. It's one of the when they walk in front of those destroyed stores. One of the stores is named after Rob Liefeld. I didn't discover that on my own. That was pointed out to me. I'm not normally when you're looking at a trailer for. I only saw it once. When you're looking at a trailer, you're not looking in the background. You're looking at the characters. Welcome back, studio. You're looking at the characters, not the background. So I didn't notice that, and and the trailer is not uh it's not a trailer that I would want to watch over and over again. It's like, okay, yes, Deadpool is coming out. I'll probably see it at some point, but the trailer was it was all right, I guess. I try not to watch trailers anyway, 'cause I feel like they spoil stuff. But I said screw it and just watched that. I watched that and I watched Bad Boys 4. I kind of want to see both of them, and I think they're both coming out this summer. Those are only two trailers that I. Oh no, I saw. Let me see, the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. I actually remembered that name. That's another movie that I kind of want to see, but I haven't been watching anything really. At least not movies, anyway. I don't know. I'm just not like just not really paying attention to movies lately. Let me see. Okay, we're gonna go around the. Just gonna keep going around here, and this is really it. Yeah, people like I hope I'm saying his name correctly. Serpieri. I like his work. And Riccardo Federici. I think it's Federici and not Federici. I'm pretty sure they don't say that in Italy. But I like their artwork, and they do hatching very well. It can be loose, it can be tight. It looks good no matter what. And I want to also do that. So, and they hatch everywhere, like all over the place. I really only do the shadow. I don't hatch everything. I just hatch the shadow. I think for me to hatch the light, I would use a light because I know people they'll do like a light blue background and they'll hatch the darkness in black and then the light in white hatching. I have never done white hatching for the light source, so maybe that's why it looks off to me because when I look at that and they follow all the form, like if you do a hand, they'll do like all the veins like in the direction that a vein would go in. Like I guess it would be curved, like a curve, like an arc. I don't go into that big of a detail because that would take forever because I'm not used to doing it. Like, and that is you don't want to take longer to do pages like that. You know, those guys they go all out on the covers, but they don't do like their hatching is a little bit more loose on the pages. I want to kind of go in between. I haven't really thought about the cover to be honest. Like I don't know how much more different the cover would be from the art. My first instinct would be to just keep it all the same, but I don't know. Maybe there's something to it. Like you just have like a better art style for the cover, and then when you open the page and you have like kind of like a more um relaxed style, I would guess. Like you're not going all out, where you're not putting everything into it. But I want to put everything into everything, but I have to think about how much time it would take. Yeah, like I don't have like a I don't know. Maybe I can do like I don't know. I don't know. I really think about like the cover art, like how if the cover art would be the same. I don't know people that do web comics, their cover art is the same as the inside of the comic, so there's nothing wrong with it. But I'm thinking in terms of professional and Western comics. Normally they have like someone else. It could be a painter doing the cover or like somebody who's really good at covers. But I don't think I'm gonna put too much thought into it. I'll just draw the cover the same way I draw the picture. It doesn't have to look different. Like it doesn't have to look like anything else. You know, you just do whatever the heck I want. All right, so we're gonna color in the cleavage here inside the ring. Most of that's shaded, so I don't have to really color anything in down there. But just gonna get the sides here. Hey, Leah Mo Art. Thank you for the follow. I hope that wasn't too loud. I haven't I tested that and it's not it's loud on my end. I try to reduce it by 50%. If that's too loud, please let me know. Um but yeah. Looks like I'm a part of the Mother Base Plus. Welcome in, welcome in. I hope you're having a good morning. If it's morning where you're at, it's morning over here still. I am putting in the base color of this picture. I'm this piece is unrelated to what I'm doing, but I'm going to be doing a web comic on the stream in the future. I do 3D modeling to use as reference, and this picture, while I'm doing like some copying and pasting like a couple thousand times, so and I didn't want to stream it, so in the meantime I did this piece while I do that off stream. I'm gonna bring that back on stream when I'm done with all that. I just saw MGS down there and I thought this is how to say hi. Oh, yeah, you're a fan of MGS? Yeah, I like MGS as well. What is your favorite MGS? I don't know. I can't decide. I think I like two a little bit more than three, but I like three, two and three the most out of all of them. Oops. I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well as well. Thank you. I am. I like Snake Eater. Oh yeah, that's a good. Are you excited for the remake that's coming out? Phantom Pain. Okay. Are you excited for the Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta? Looking forward to that. You just said it. I am. Wait. Oh yeah, yeah. Good, good, good. I hope it's good. I hope it's good. I hope it's great. Even, but I will be getting it. I will get it and see. Maybe one day, because I did a little bit of streaming in the past. I stopped to write a webcomic, and now that the webcomic is written, I'm streaming the art for it. I'm gonna be doing character sheets and whatnot. And hopefully, when I get enough characters done, I'm going to do the pages. But before that, I did do some big gaming streams, some variety streams, and I'm gonna try to do that again sometime in the near future. So you'll probably see Metal Gear at some point. I'll definitely am willing to play through that series again. But yeah, mainly just doing art for right now. I'm gonna blend that in. Oh yeah, and I hear that the Metal Gear music is on the thing, so it's kind of a coincidence there. Not a coincidence, but you know, yeah, I guess a coincidence. I don't know. I didn't plan it. I have all kinds of music playing Metal Gear. Some of the Metal Gear tracks are in the sound in the playlist that I got here. I'm gonna blend in this color So we don't want to go that bright yet. And you tried Metal Gear Survive? Not yet. Um, I do sometimes every now and then I do co-op streams with my friend 99 Heal Potions. We turned it on, and then while we were setting it up we decided to play something else because we weren't really into it at the time. But normally we do co-op streams, and it's been mostly so far survival games, zombie games, things like that. And that was one of the ones that we were going to try, but we never actually started it. I saw some streams of it. I do have the game. I just haven't really played it yet. I got it for like $6 or $7, so I was like, why not? I do want to play it one day, but as of right now, I have not tried the game yet. Oh, I need to let me get a bigger brush here because this color is not blending. Okay, here we go. Do you like Survive? I haven't tried it yet. I kind of want to try it because I do like survival games, and I know it's not exactly in the spirit of Metal Gear, but yeah, I do want to try it. I know a lot of people don't like it. I don't feel strongly about it one way or the other though, but I do want to try to see if it's actually fun. Okay, let me see. Let me just color that in. Oh, we're gonna have to blend that now. I should have just did the whole side. It's okay. Just blend that. Make the brush a little bit bigger. I saw it didn't look that bad. I know like when it first came out, it was a lot of people were like I saw a little bit of gameplay, like a lot of people were just setting up fences and then poking the zombies through the vents or through the fence with like spears or whatnot. And you could basically just beat the entire game that way, from what I understand. And I did see a marathon. There was someone on the site does a marathon streams of Metal Gear, and they ended up playing Survive at one point, and I got to see a little more of the game. It doesn't look bad to me. I know it seems a little grindy, but that doesn't really deter me because I play grindy stuff anyway. You don't have to grind it all at once. Go a little bit higher with this. Also, I'm gonna blend in this shadow down here. I kind of forgot about that. Oh man, I'm gonna have to go a little bit strong. Oh, no wonder the strength is not where it should be. Okay, there we go. Okay, it's a little too strong, but we just want to stay in here. We don't want to blend too far. Okay, I'm gonna take the strength back down to 10 because I saw how it was affecting the shadow. I don't want to do that. I only did it there because it was a flat color there, so there was nothing for me to mess up. This this will affect every layer underneath of it, so I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna do this and return that back to the way it somewhat to the way it was before. Then I'm gonna do. I forgot to blend this shadow in. I'm gonna blend that in a little bit. Okay, there we go. All right, now I gotta get a little bit of that cleavage there. Go down. Let me take the brush size down a little bit more.
through here. I think it's a little bit good. I just want to make sure it's not sloppy around the line edges there. So taking it back old school, I can't, like with this method of grayscale, I cannot use the eraser for anything. So, but I can control Z. So I either have to do it all in one go or do it in parts and blend it in like I just did, or control Z it. So it's all okay. It's almost old school. Okay, it's almost old school way. It's not quite old school, but close enough. There's no control Z in real life, but you can't erase paint. You just have to paint over it. So it's somewhat similar, just a little bit, just a little bit. Okay, let just blend this, blend it in a little bit. Some minor things. I'll touch that up. I will touch that up later down the line. Make sure that we don't have any spots here, any gaps where the grayscale underneath shows. All right, all right, all right, all right. Let's see what we got here. Let's increase brush size. And I'm gonna try to get right up on it without having it. Well, I'm gonna blend it anyway, so it really doesn't matter. I just don't want to go too far into what I did. Okay. Just gonna go down a little bit. And color that in. But yeah, I've been a Metal Gear fan for a long time. For a long I didn't play the Nintendo ones until later. I think I played them around somebody I knew had it, and I still had a Nintendo. I played them around the early 2000s. I did hear of Metal Gear, and I knew a little bit about it because they do go into a little bit of what happened in the first two games in Metal Gear Solid 1. I came in during Metal Gear Solid 1 around 1998. One of my friends had the demo, and that's how I got into it. I thought it was pretty cool, and I was somewhat inspired by Yoji Shinkawa's art to the point where I was drawing like that for a while, with the heavy shadows and whatnot, and some of the watercolor pieces that he did for like I guess Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty. It kind of had like a watercolor esque piece. I don't know if it was actually watercolor, but it looked like watercolor to me. So I would emulate that style in my art. Yeah, I was really a big fan of the art and of course the game itself. The story and all that. It definitely influenced my work over the years. So but yeah, definitely played them a lot growing up. Actually, I'm kind of glad I still have my PS3 so I can play 4 whenever. Because I hope they add that in volume 2 of the Master Collection. I really do. In some way, just please add that so that way I don't have to plug up my PS3 anymore. Play it or emulate it. I don't want to emulate it because it's a little tricky to emulate, but it's possible. You can do it. You kind of have to take some extra steps because it's a PS3 game and some of the emulators have trouble running that game, but you can get it to work at 60 frames too. It's very uh it's very nice looking at 60 frames. It's not actually 60 frames on the PS3, but it moves faster. It's just if you don't set it up right, it'll crash on you. But I don't have to worry about that if they put it on Master Collection Volume 2. I don't care what they got to do. I hope they do it. I hope they don't leave that one out. I can't see them doing a Master Collection Volume 2 without it, but you never know. They might actually just say we're not going to do it because it relies a little bit on the PS3 controller to play. Like when you're playing what's her name, Screaming Mantis, you kind of need to wiggle the controller to defeat her with the dolls and whatnot. And some of the functions in the game rely on wiggling the controller. I hope that they just change that to like an analog thing, so it's not a big deal. I don't know how I keep changing the opacity. Got to make sure we don't do that. But yeah, really hope they put Metal Gear Solid 4 on there. I like 4 as well, but the story's all right. I like the story more in 2 and 3. 2 a little bit more than 3, but I like 3. I like three's gameplay more because you can do a lot more stuff. They put a lot more effort into the environment. And, you can, they got the animals and all that, and that camouflage, and it's definitely something that I like playing. 2 story is probably the best in my opinion, though. He was in top form when he made 2, and then predicted a lot of stuff with AI too that now that we have nowadays. So and memes and controlling information, so very relevant topics for today. So he was kind of ahead of his time with that one. Three's more of a standard story, you just go in and go in and kill the boss or whatever, kill all the bad guys and go. But 2 had a message. He had something to say when he made 2. I feel like that's where his work in the series peaked at 2. But the gameplay kept getting better, so it's always that was always an improvement in a way. Okay, I think we're done with the skin. I don't think there's anything else we need to do there. I'm gonna do the shirt next. Making the shirt purple. I have a color palette that I made that I can just get to right quick. Oops. All right. Oh, let me save it. In case something happens. I don't want to do this again. Yo. All right. Let's see. Purple here. Yeah, they put a lot of stuff in that game. There's a lot of little details they put in Metal Gear that I'm still finding out to this day. I'm trying to think. What was the? There was something that I didn't even know was possible that you could do still, and I've still every time I watch someone play that game, it's always something new that I didn't know was possible. I'm trying to think what the last one was, and it was something that I saw recently too. I'm trying to think. Um, what was it? I don't remember honestly. I think it was something with the end. If you stay in first person for too long, he can sneak up on you. I think it was something like that. I think that did happen to me, but I didn't notice it when I first played it because you have to kind of like not know what's going, like when you play it for the first time. Of course, you're going to be like you don't know what's going on, you don't know where he is or whatever. Now you can just find him, once you play it enough times. But um, yeah, apparently if you spend enough time in first person, he can sneak up behind you and shoot you with his little tranquilizer rifle. I think that was the newest thing that I discovered that you could do in that game. There's so much stuff, little details that he puts in the games. It's not. I don't think that was There's not some. I don't think there's a lot of things like that in 5, but 5 is very streamlined. Like you can move faster. The CQC is a bit more streamlined. It's very open, very open world. It's got nice graphics too. I'm going to smudge that in now. Okay. I'm going to get a little bit into the jacket. Let me get a little closer because I see a little gray from way back there. We don't want to have that happen. Okay. Let me blend that in. I hope this, yeah, I was thinking about changing the color of the shirt, but I'm gonna stick with purple for now. I might switch it to blue. Though it's gonna be a little, yeah, I'll just paint the blue over. It doesn't really matter. If I might not do it though. I might just stick with the purple. I think it'll be fine. Okay, let me see. You got jacket. Just do a black. It's a black leather jacket. Oh wait, hold on. Let me save it again. All right, I'm gonna color in one side of it for now. Let's see what we got here. I need a bigger brush than that. Okay. Here we go. Color on one side. It's not going to be, since I'm using this color, it's not going to be much difference from the grayscale. It's a little bit darker, but eventually we'll put in the darker blacks, and I'm going to try to reflect the environment off of the jacket too, because it is a shiny surface. So we are going to see how that turns out. I've done water reflections before, but I didn't do like clothing reflections, and or even I don't even think I did metal. I did like the shine in the metal. Like I'm gonna do that with this chain, but I haven't really done reflections in metal. That'll be interesting to see how I can pull that off because I never actually done that before. And I have a clipping mask here, so I can color outside the lines as much as possible. It's just when I bleed into other areas, that's the only thing I have to worry about. So I can be as sloppy as I want. That's why I'm doing just one side at a time because I can't drag it over the skin because the way I've done it. I've passed through on and it will pass through. And I'm going to avoid the buttons because that'll be a different color. Maybe a copperish color, I think. Or just like a metallic. I don't know. I was going to make them gold at first, but I'm not going to do that. Maybe I should. I don't know. But we're not going to color over the buttons. Go around them. Okay, it's starting to look more like a leather jacket now, since it's got the proper color on there. We're going to go down. Go that again. I want to make sure I don't have anything. Oops, I went over the hair. That's what I have to avoid. I could go outside, but I can't go inside. That's okay. The hair is already black, so I'm going to. Now, since I never lifted the brush off of the tablet, if I just shift C, I'm gonna have to do that whole side again. I'm not gonna do that. So we're going to just. I'm just gonna blend it in using a hair thing, and her hair is black anyway. Like it's just a base color. At least it will be. It still looks like grayscale, but I actually colored it. Do I want to do this? This brush? Yeah, I guess so. No big deal. you make things like that, you just blend it in. It'll be all right. This is already in the shadow, so I can blend it right into the shadow and it'll be all right. So I'm going to do that. Yeah, it's not so bad. Plus, I'm going to do a couple more layers of color anyway, so that'll all go away. It's actually going to go away right now. Okay. Just return the color to where it was. Before we go on. Yeah, I play all kinds of stuff. I pretty much, there's really not a genre that I don't play. I like playing all kinds of stuff. Retro, indie, whatever, doesn't matter. I kind of wish there were more stealth games. I think Metal Gear doesn't is like one of the only ones. I think the only other one was what, Tenchu. Uh, there were some here and there, but none that's an actual franchise. I need to get into Splinter Cell. I remember trying the first one, but I don't really remember it. I didn't get very far in it either. It's a little different than Metal Gear. Okay, let me see here. I see there's a lot. Okay, so when I come back here, it looks like there's a heavy line there, but not really. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna go on with the other side of. Wait, no, wait. Let me do the buttons. I don't honestly don't know. Honestly, don't know what color I want to do the buttons. Let me try this. Let me see. Hang on. Okay. I want this to be the base color. And then we'll put some tan in there, make it look more copperish. Yeah. I was tempted to just make it gold so it'll match with the necklace, but I'm not gonna do that. Do the buttons here. Oh yeah, and the zipper. Yeah, I guess I can make the zipper the same color. Why not? I did not use a reference for the zipper. I just did my best guesstimation of a zipper. I was like, I'm just gonna do this little zigzag portion. I looked at a couple of pictures of a jacket. Normally the zipper is they have a big long zipper on one side, but I just put it on both for it to be symmetrical. So I did that. I had kind of had it like follow the bust a little bit. Almost colored outside the line there, but that's okay. I made those lines thick anyway. I'll make it a little bit more shiny as it comes out here because it's from this side here. This will be a little bit reflecting the light. This and her shoulder has some highlight to it. No, actually, yeah, this will be secondary light from reflecting the environment. I made this light here. I'm gonna try to put some green in here when I put the background color in, and maybe some blue from the sky up here. Probably no further than that, but yeah, that's my idea for kind of having the shiny surface reflect the light. Okay, hold on. I gotta get my eyedropper here. Okay. Let me go on ahead and increase this brush. Okay. Might be able to get the background done before I stop, but at least for the colors, it's very. I got to do the sky though. I didn't do for some reason my brush that I use for clouds was not working for highlights, so I'm just gonna paint the clouds in. I don't have clouds in this picture. I'm just gonna do this side of the jacket now. Never actually, I don't remember drawing a leather jacket before. It's like this might be the first time I drew a leather jacket. I think when I had it in the sketch, it looked like a shirt. It looked more like a shirt. So I looked at pictures of a leather jacket to try to get the way of it wrinkles and how it forms around the body. I think it looks a little bit better than when I did it in the sketch. I used a brush to get to try to get like a leather texture on it. It has a texture. I'm not sure if it's a leather texture though, but it's close enough, maybe. All right, so I'm gonna try to get this lapel here. Actually, I don't have to follow the inside of the lapel, just the outside. I'm sorry, reverse that. I have to follow the inside, not the outside, so it doesn't bleed into the purple. Okay, now I can just, as long as I don't lift this brush. Oh wait, well, I'm not actually. You know what? I'm gonna cross over the zipper. I did it on the other side, so I'm gonna do it on this side, and I'll just brighten it. I don't think I'm down all the way. Yep, I messed. That's okay. I'll just smudge that together. Try to do it all in one go, so I don't have to use smudge. But it's no big deal if I have to do it. I don't want to smudge it too much because it does smudge the grayscale underneath. This almost has a watercolor look to it from the because of the brush I use. I use a different brush for the skin and for the leather texture. Okay. Well, I guess I'll just continue. I guess I'll continue. That was my computer just kicked in its cooling fans for some reason. Not really hot in here. I don't know why. Sometimes it does that randomly. I'm not sure why. Anyways, all right, so we're going to continue here with the other shoulder. Coloring that in. Try to get that done. Since I already put color around the collar, I'm going to just go around this. Should be all right. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna avoid the zipper since this is on the lighter side. This is where the direct light is hitting this side, so it'll be a little bit shinier. So I'm not going to go over the zipper. I don't think I went over the zipper on the other side either. Maybe I did. I don't know. I actually don't remember anymore. Like it doesn't really matter. I can brighten it with another layer. It's no big deal. All right. Let me see. Let me do the arm here. I did not lift the brush, so I can just go over what I did. As long as I don't lift the brush, I can just keep going. It gets a little tiring for my hand though, just keeping it on the pad. So I have to keep it there for the entire time, and I'm just going back and forth. Hopefully my hand won't get sore. Sometimes I accidentally lift the brush. I'm like, oh man, I need to stop, and then I'll just have to smudge it. But if I do it all in one go, I won't have to smudge it at all, and it's like a step that I don't have to, an extra step that I don't have to take. That's one thing I did not have to worry about with just going straight from line to color, because I could just continue on, you know, from where I left off, and it'll be the same color. But since I'm using grayscale and pass through, and every layer is connected together in a way, I kind of have to be a little bit more careful with my brush strokes and smudging and all that stuff. But I do like the way it turns out. I mean, I think this is only my second time doing it this way. I have spent some time practicing it, but uh, I am putting it into an actual picture this time for the first time. Well, for the second time, if we count my offline screen. Okay, so I'm gonna do the buttons now. That side's good. I think I'm going. Yeah, I'm gonna add some tan later. Kind of, it almost looks tan. It's kind of a green tint though. I'll just paint the proper color in. Maybe they're old buttons. I don't know. I didn't put that much thought into it. Maybe the buttons are faded. It's an old jacket, maybe. I don't know. And we'll do the zipper. I'm gonna go all the way down. I have to shorten the brush to go further because I made that kind of thin. I was able to just do it on the other side, but these lines are thinner than those lines. It's a little asymmetrical, so I gotta shorten the brush so that way I don't color outside of the lines. Again, I want to do that again. Okay. Save it. Could probably start using more shortcuts, I guess. I'm just gonna go to the menu and save it. Okay, so we have the base colors for this girl here. Now we can just probably start doing the background a little bit. I'm going to try to not put a lot of detail in it, and I'll just blur it later. But I don't want to make it too simple, so we'll see what we need to do here. If push comes to shove, I'll just work on it after the stream, just the background at least. Okay. I'm going to do the grass field and that tree. And I'm going to try to. I was thinking about putting some water somewhere, but I ain't gonna worry about it. I think it'll be fine as is. Let me see. There's so many programs to keep track of. I don't remember. I don't know how to do the. I know there's a shortcut for brush size, but I only remember the one for Blender. So I'll just go into the menu and do it. Okay, I'm gonna stop it right here. Actually, I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna stop it at the line that I put there. And I might hide the line layer too, even though I'm gonna blur it with a filter. It's not really focused. That grass looks a little too light colored, but oh, look at that. That's not intentional. We're going to have to fix that. It's because I should have checked that before stream too. I have to. That means I use the eraser right there. But what I'm gonna do is instead of doing any like what I did yesterday on the face, I'm just going to smudge that. That is definitely something I overlooked. I'm gonna smudge it together though. It'll be fine. I could have did this with the face, but I have a lot of like little shadows in the face. I can't do this. Like when I messed it up yesterday, I couldn't do what I did here over there. I gotta go back because I have some grass detail there that I wanted to keep, so I'm just gonna go around that. Actually, I don't need to keep that to be honest. I'll just paint over it though. Say we'll just blur that. I could disappear her entirety, but I'm just gonna paint around her. You're not gonna see behind her, so there's no point. Normally I would do just complete the background. That's how I did my offline screen. Like I did the background first and then I drew the people on it. But that takes a long time. And then the background had a little bit too much. Oh my god, I did it again on this side. All right. Yeah, I definitely should have checked that. It was a little oversight on my part. I didn't check that before the stream. That's all right. We will sally forth as we were going to do yesterday. Luckily, I had discovered the problems on the face like right before the end of the stream, so I knew what I needed to do before the next stream. I'm just gonna leave that as is. I'll tell you what, since this is a little bit lighter than, oops, we don't want to do that. Since it's a little bit lighter than I wanted it, I'm gonna go over it again and make it a darker shade of green. The grass is not really that color even when it's lit. You know, if I put mixing some yellow in there for the sunlight, it might make a little bit more sense, but I kind of want to make it a darker green. Actually, the only way to make it a darker green is to use a darker color. Let's see here. How about, oops. How about that? A little too dark. I'm gonna try to make this slightly darker. I'm just gonna go around the edges here. And okay, hold on. Let me do it again. It's like a fog. It's like a low fog, or it looks like a low fog around it. But I'm gonna keep going. Okay. Now I'm going to use this color for this shrubbery here, this tree. And the trunk, and a little bit of the shadow. Let me see. Yeah, this actually looks better. Let me just do the whole thing in this green now. That actually looks a little better as grass. Said I'm gonna blur it. It's a little saturated, but we can control that. You know what? I'm gonna paint in the grass up close. I'll just paint all this stuff in and then blur it. Okay. Let me get some of these trees going real quick. I'm gonna try to get in the base colors of the background. Like I said, I didn't really put too much thought into the background. I looked at a picture of an airport, and then I just added some buildings to it. But I do want to have a background. I want to just do like a gradient background or a background with nothing in it. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, I guess I can do green here too. I'm gonna have to go around the trees though. I should have just painted it all in at once. So you know what? Let me use this color since this is now the color. Try to get like I'm gonna try to get it in between light and dark, so somewhere around here or here for the mid-tone or for the base color. Actually, you know what happens if I color the tree? Yeah, okay. Maybe we'll do it like that. Like I said, we can always paint over this if it doesn't turn out right. Just keep painting over it. So we're going to do that for the trees and the grass, and then we'll put some more detail in it further down the line from now. Go around this tree. Okay. All right. I'm gonna put these leaves in. There's like leaves up or like a plant or something here that I put. I wanted to add more detail in the foreground, so I had the grass painted, but I smudged it away, so I'm gonna just paint it in at some point. Oh, welcome back, 99. Thank you. I'm trying to do a simple background, but I don't want to make it too simple, so I'm just working in some detail here. Uh, Doing some leaves. Very simple background, but I'm not going to try to put too much detail into it because, like I said, I'm just going to blur it. What I used to do was when I did a background in the past, I wouldn't do any line art. I would just get a reference and then just roughly paint it in, and it would look blurry. It would look like I'd used a blur filter, but I didn't. It was actually hand painted, and it worked out for a while. But now I'm just gonna actually do a background from now on, and then just blur it with a filter if I want to do it that way. I'm probably not gonna use any blur filter for my webcomic art or any filters at all. I'll probably just do everything by hand and just leave it as it is. But backgrounds are not something that I am super experienced in. Like I know where the settings are, and I know, but I don't put a lot of. I think the most I ever put in the background was in my offline screens, and I went a little too far in that. Like I actually drew like the background is actually its own picture, and I just drew the people over top of that. After researching webcomics, looks like 90% of people just blur photos or stock images these days. Yeah, and people don't like that, and I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I think yeah, just use a filter over an actual photo. That's not something that you should do because they don't own that picture. So it's kind of like a very slippery slope. I'm gonna draw. I'm gonna draw. I'm gonna continue drawing all my backgrounds. I don't really need. I can do the background and the foreground in a relatively in a acceptable amount of time. So and I don't need to rush it or anything. I know people do that because it's something because it helps them get the picture out or the pages out faster. But I never really had that problem. Like I said, I know I can do uh, a picture within a day. For the Tattles comic, my plan is to not make them unless it's a scene. I've never practiced backgrounds. I need to improve on other things first. Yeah, I get it. At first, when I started, I was like that too. But then I started doing what I did was I would get a reference and loosely base my background off of it. Like I would just do a really rough painting, and I would do it so rough that it actually looked like I used a blur filter. I haven't done that in so long because I've just been doing the backgrounds. I've just been actually drawing the backgrounds lately, so I kind of don't remember how I did that. But that's how I used to do my backgrounds for some of my old pictures. When I ever get a chance to show my old art, because I will show it. I guess that's one of my reasons, one of my ways of getting over how bad it is to just show it off and then try to explain the process. I'll probably do that for channel points one day if I ever get channel points. Um, yeah, I'll explain the process that I was using and where my train of thought and everything. You'll see some of those very loose backgrounds that I painted in some of my art. They turned out pretty well. It's just I want to have more detail than that in the backgrounds for my webcomic, so I'm not going to do it that way anymore. Hmm. Do I want to add, since it's closer, do I want to add, because I had blades of grass here. I was going to try to, I'll paint those in. I ain't going to paint those in now. I can paint those in literally at any time. That might be the last thing I do. And I'll just have like some light bounce off of them. Okay, I'll just continue. Let me consult my palette here. Oops, what did I just do? I don't know. I don't know what I did. I hit T instead of I for some reason. I wanted to do the eyedropper. I made a list of all the necessary art I need to make and art I want to make. It's too much, Ace, too much. I hear you, man. I hear you. It's like I'm so lucky that I kind of have an idea already of what how every scene is going to look because I was picturing it as I was writing it. If you write it, maybe that'll work for you. Maybe when if you don't have it written yet and you start writing it, just try to plan everything out as you write it and remember it because that's how I did my art. And I mean that's how I did my webcomic when I wrote it, and it worked out for me. Like I still remember like all the scenes and how I want to draw them and whatnot, and I planned it as I wrote it. So all I have to do now is just arrange the panels as such, because I already know who's going to be in the scene, where, what's going to be in the scene, so I know what to draw. I just have to draw it and draw it at different angles too, because I'm gonna have to space out. Like I said, my this is my first actual like start to finish story that I actually completed. So I have to make sure that all of the dialogue is properly spaced out and not no walls of text because that's a bad thing to have. I'm trying to avoid doing that. So I made okay. The Pokemon one is plain. I just have to design a lot. Yeah, yeah. That's what worked for me. I just did it all right then and there. I was like when I was picturing it in my head, I could see it so clearly. Yeah, I knew how I was gonna like the angle, the shots. I was like, okay, all I have to do is just stick to that, and then I can change it as like as I can alter it or whatever as I'm drawing it. But I pretty much know how every scene in the story is gonna go, so it's gonna be all right. All I have to do is just draw it in different angles and make it interesting and not wooden. Hey Trey, good morning. Welcome to the stream. We're putting in the base colors. We're continuing from yesterday. I fixed all the problems that I caused yesterday. Everything's fine. I had to do some of it over, but we got it. So far I have Pokemon Vector Man and Vector Man. Wow, I have not played. I still remember some of the tracks from Vector Man. Yeah, I used to play the heck out of that game. And Dead Island playing for the comics. Okay. Oh yeah, we didn't finish Dead Island 2, did we? I keep forgetting about that game. I saw someone playing it on Twitch, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right, we were playing that. Wow, this is looking much better. Oh, thank you, Trig. Yeah, I actually had to redo. I redid all of the grayscale last night before, so I know what I did wrong, and I know what the problems I was having now, and they ain't gonna happen again. Basically, I just, for long story short, I can't erase anything. That's what I did. If I erase something, it's gonna erase like every layer below it, and that's gonna cause problems. And I can smudge it as a quick fix, and I almost did that yesterday. but I would have lost a lot of the detail in the shadow. So if it's not the person, like I did it for the background. I actually had it down here a couple minutes ago. I had to smudge that together and I'll just repaint that in, but I can't do that for the face, so I just redid it. I mean to say it's much more regressed as since I last saw it while maintaining the same level of artistic and yeah, it's it looks, I'm sure if you like took a screenshot of yesterday and today, there's maybe some minor differences, but it I tried to make it the same as before. It wasn't, since I still had the cross hatching in, I could still follow that and put the shadows in the same. But thank you, I appreciate that. I'm just trying to determine how my webcomic is gonna look kind of with this piece, and it's kind of like I'm kind of like drawing. I just wanted to stream some art while I work on the monotonous stuff off stream for my 3D mesh. But it's almost done. I just got legs, hands, the like half the legs, hands, and feet left, and then it should be good. I'm gonna try to do it today. I couldn't do it yesterday because I had to fix this picture, so I kind of lost a day, but that's okay. We got it all back on track now. We need to set up a call. Have you've had that magic pencil named Skin Tone Color? That was one thing I got that people always said I did very well with skin tone. Like even at the beginning, I don't know, and that's something I pay attention to a lot. Is like if somebody can draw flesh really good, I really study that. I try to do that for mine. That was what yeah. It's I don't know. It's just something that now these lines are rough here. I'm gonna get rid of those like that. See how now it looks like it's blurry already. It looks like it's blurred. But yeah, I'm gonna get rid of. I didn't line the background. We're just gonna keep it a sketch for now, and I'll paint over it. It looks like shit, shit. Yeah, yeah. This is just the base color. I'm gonna do shadow and there's gonna be blush and some bone. Like you'll see some yellow in there. It's like all kinds of colors you can put into the skin. If there was light hitting her ears, that you would make those orange, like an orange color, because it's all mostly cartilage. So any kind of light hitting the ear, that's automatically going to make the ear orange. We were just talking about wrestling and wrestlers yesterday. Yeah, I forgot 99. I had a question to ask you yesterday, but I completely forgot what it was about. It was something wrestling related, and I don't remember what it was. Dang it. Maybe you remember, Trig. I don't remember. And the MXC show that remained unnamed until yesterday. Yeah, MXC. Yeah. Oh, I know what it was now. 99. Did WCW have a second show? Was it called Thunder? Was it WCW Thunder, or am I mixing that up with the game? Because we were talking about Monday Night Wars. Like WWE had Raw, and then on Thursday they came out with SmackDown, and then they had they had shit like Shotgun Saturday Night and all that. So what did WCW have? I know they had uh Nitro. Did they also have a second show named Thunder? I don't remember because I haven't watched it since those days. That was what I wanted to ask you. They had Nitro Monday, Wednesday Night Heat, and Friday was Thunder. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, I thought they had another show. Yeah, Heat. That's what it was. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember Heat. Yeah, we were talking about the channels that was on TNN and because I remember Booker T saying the new TNN. And that's how I remember that it was on TNN because he was in a commercial or whatever, and then it became Spike TV. Monday was Raw because they flipped it around. Raw is War. Yeah, AEW has lasted longer than WCW and have had more episodes. Wait a minute. WCW was from the 80s though, wasn't it? And then they started off as a local territory. So how is AEW? Are you talking about TV? Because they weren't on since the 90s. AEW's only been out since 2020, right? Is that true? How is it longer? How does it last longer? No, that was NWA, which is still running. Okay. So what was Ric Flair on when he was, when he was still wearing the suits and the mullet in the 80s? That wasn't WCW? I thought that was WCW. I guess so. I don't know. I barely remember wrestling in the 80s. Like I remember it. I saw some of it. I didn't really watch it religiously until the 90s. AEW 2019, 5 years now. WCW lasted 3 years. I don't know. I thought they were on in the 90s. Like not like around 95, 93 or something. You sure? I thought that could have sworn they were long longer than that. I don't know though. Like I said, I didn't really watch it until they did their little NWO thing. And that was in what, 97, 98. And they were bought in what, 2002, 2001. Rick started in Smoky Mountain and then NWA. Right. Yeah, okay, I remember now. 98 to 2001. Got you. Okay. Yeah, I thought, man, for all this time, I thought WCW was on like in the mid 90s too. But I didn't watch it then, so I don't know. I started watching it in 98. I'm speaking TV. Okay. So they weren't all, so you're saying they weren't always on TV. I thought they were. WCW had a WCW was a second side of NWA. Got you. Yeah, like I said, I didn't even start watching it until '98, so I don't know. I was always under the impression that it was on before then, but like I said, I didn't watch it, so I don't know for sure until '98 when NWO. I happened to turn on. I happened to turn it on. No, people were talking about it in elementary school, and I happened to turn it on and see, and NWO was in there. And I think they were like stomping somebody out or something because that's what they did with everyone. There was like 30 people versus one guy, and it was kind of amusing because there's no way you can win that. So it's you just you just take your entire team and you stomp a guy out and then you spray paint on him. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll watch this. So I watched it. That's what they did. Like how Ring of Honor is the second company of AEW and American Gladiators. Yeah, we were talking about American Gladiators too. I was saying yesterday how my favorite event was the one where they had to go into the it was kind of like a mock urban environment, but not really. And you had to like take cover, and like every station had like a different weapon that you had to shoot the gladiator with. The gladiator was on top of a building or something, and he had like a big cannon that he had to hit the guy with. And the one with the crazy football one where they had to get past the gladiator and slam the balls into the trash can. I don't know why I'm using such a small brush. I need to increase that. And I like how they had regular names. Philip Duck McDouglas versus Steel. Yeah, there was a Steel, wasn't there? I mean, it makes sense anyway. Even if there wasn't a Steel, there should have been a Steel. Storm and uh yeah, a lot of those people went into some of them appeared in movies. Like I said before, I know Jax from Mortal Kombat. He was one of the people in American Gladiators. I just don't remember what he was. I can't remember his freaking name. Tower. Yeah, Tower. Is that his name? Yeah, that kind of rings a bell. Nitro Ironclad versus Martin Keamy. Martin Keamy versus Colossus. Martin Keamy's the character from Lost. I just thought of a regular sounding name, and that was the first name that came to mind. Martin Keamy was played by the guy who played Blob from X-Men Origins Wolverine. I can't remember that guy's name, and he's in more than that, but that's the role that I think of when I think of him. He was the Blob. Tower sounds like one. I'm about to look up the names. Tag in Google on this. Yeah, it's there's a lot. There was a lot of gladiators over the years. I don't remember them all because it's been so long. I only remember the one. I remember Storm definitely because you know it's Storm. Something at least I think there was a Storm. It's Storm related. If there wasn't Storm, then it was something Storm like Firestorm or something. Steve from Accounting versus Destroyax. Destroyax sounds like a dude from what was it one WMCA Masters? It was more like a martial arts thing. It was just like American Gladiators, but they would do like kata. It was like a wushu or something like that, but with their styles, not actually wushu. Destroyax sounds like a Digimon. Destroyax, yeah, very Western sounding fantasy or sci-fi names. Destroyax. I hope this matches with the sky because I'm starting to have a little bit of doubt here. I don't know. That might need to be a darker mountain. Who evolves into Destroyacon? I love Masters. I was like, I wish this is how wrestling was. Yeah, the guy that because they those people got into movies too. It was the first guy that Liu Kang fights in the first Mortal Kombat. The black guy with the dreads. He was in WMCA Masters. That's where I recognized him from. I was like, oh yeah, that guy. And I think the dude who plays Scorpion was also in that show. The Blob was yeah, Kevin Durand. Yeah, that's his name. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. He was Martin Keamy on Lost. And I was like, what kind of a name? Martin Keamy. And he's like some like he's like a he's like a badass mercenary type, you know, that type of character, but his name was Martin Keamy. Doesn't sound badass, but that's the character he was. Hey, Kevin Durant. Yeah, I know Kevin Durant. Golden State Warriors. I guess this works. I don't know. I might have to make the mountains darker, but we'll see. I know a hodgepodge of basketball players. I remember the old ones. I haven't watched it since man, I haven't really followed it like a lot since the Lakers were going up against the Sixers a lot in the playoffs and the finals. And this was around 2000 to 2003 when it was always them in the finals and the Lakers would just beat them most of the time. That was the last time I really followed basketball like that. I know State has been the team that people would like to follow now, and maybe the Celtics. I don't know. I hear people talk about it sometimes. I don't really follow it anymore though. I don't really watch that much sports anymore. Um, I watched a lot of combat sports, but I kind of fell off of that too. So I know the 95, 2005 years, legends like all the ones everybody knows. Yeah, like Bugsy Mogs. Remember that guy? Bugsy Mogs. Uh, and then like 10 and 15 random people from the last 10 years. Yeah, I hear them every now and then. I still find it very amusing when people learn I know a little about sports. Like, bitch, I have interests outside of what you assume. I know more than anime. Fuck ass, yeah, yeah. You always have those types where their entire entertainment world revolves around sports. It's like it's okay, not everybody's like that. Okay, you see my book bag and combat boots and think I don't know who the Atlanta Falcons is. Well, maybe you have an Atlanta Falcons book bag. You never know. They do have various sports paraphernalia book bags. I wasn't gonna correct it. I'm not here to be an English teacher. I make mistakes too every now and then. I just read what I sometimes I do correct it as I'm reading it, but I didn't correct that. I just is, am, are, was, were, be, being, been, work, verbs make it feel so good, verbs make it feel so good. Okay, remember that. Remember that. Those are all verbs. I was thinking of paraphernalia too. I had it has a negative connotation. Yeah, some yeah, I know it was for you, Trick. Yeah, some do. Like Raiders gear was always associated with gangs. But that's an LA thing though. I don't live there, so but I know that's a thing in some places. Too many people wearing Raiders gear. Oh no, look out. But I wasn't there. I never went to an actual football game, so I don't know what the heck happened. I'm sure something happened though. The new Gears of War just announced. I played the first one. I don't even know if I beat it. I correct people because of my mom, and I wish she hadn't corrected me so much. That's how I wouldn't do it so much. I correct myself because I write now, and I don't want to write anything incorrect and edit. I do this often, so I I try to have correct grammar and spelling and pronunciation. Even though you don't really get pronunciation in reading unless you have the syllables there. I read a lot as a kid, so there were quite a few words I mispronounced as a result. Words that I've learned through reading and not through school. Raiders fans are said to be very aggressive. Same with Vikings people. Try to correct it and be correct, but to a point. Yeah, I don't want to be a freaking. I'm gonna be going around correcting people. Okay, that's not that's people don't like that. Not people aren't always willing to be corrected. Sometimes you got to let stuff be. Yeah, like how Eris is pronounced Aerith. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. I always called her Eris, okay? I've never set foot in Japan. There's no reason for me to call her Aerith, okay? I only played the American copy, and 99% of the people who say Aerith, I I can probably bet you five singles that they've only played the American version of Final Fantasy VII. They only corrected it as Aerith because, they're really into the Japan side of things. We'll just leave it at that. There's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like that's like it's kind of like virtue signaling, but without the virtue because it's just a game. You're just a poser. I feel like if you didn't play that kind of game, but you go by the Japanese pronunciation because to you it's the correct one. Taibo King, yeah. Hey, Taibo King, welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good morning. I still do. I read it Aerith because that's what the screen said. Okay, fair enough. I played the American version in the and on my screen it said Eris. Okay. I also call FF3 SNES FF3. It's not six to me. I'm still a little confused by that. I know I had Anthology. In fact, I gave it to you, Typo. Um, because I wasn't, I came in on seven. I didn't understand going back to 2D at that point. I was like in that was like my train of thought at the time. So I didn't I didn't really care for them at the time, but I'm willing to play them again. I probably will. Actually, I am going to. Even though you tell me to skip two, I might play it, a little bit. I might not beat it, but posing like a McFarlane figure. Final Fantasy 3 and SNES is the only one I know. 3 to 6 solid games. I saw a little bit of it when you were playing it in the little bit of time that I played it. It got FF1, FF2, FF3 on SNES, FF4, FF5, FF3 on PlayStation. Yeah, I know some of them were numbered differently. Like I'm still a little confused on that because that was not my thing. I went from in a relatively shorter time, Buck Rogers Countdown to Doomsday, which was my very first RPG that I've ever played and completed, straight to Final Fantasy VII. Okay, like that was my, and this was in like around the same time that Final Fantasy VII came out. That was when I started getting into RPGs. I played a lot of RPGs, but I've only really beaten a handful of them. I've said this before, but I've beaten 7, 10, Skies of Arcadia, Jade Cocoon, and there was a fifth one, and I always forget it. What is it? Oh crap! I don't remember the fifth one right now. I always forget the fifth one. 10-2. Thank you, typo. Yes, you're right. 10-2. Thank you. That was the one. 5. I've played so many. I've tried Vagrant Story. It's mainly because if it wasn't my one of my jobs that in real life stuff, it was because I didn't own them. That was the only reason. I enjoyed all of them. It's just I didn't really get enough time to play them. Legend of Dragoon, I tried that. Vagrant Story, Dark Cloud 1 and 2, um, Xenosaga. I actually did own that, but I after a while I couldn't get into it. It was just too long. It was too many. I was literally just sitting there watching it at one point, because it just kept going on and on. True, to me, 6 is still the best. Yeah, I did try. I tried one of them. Whichever ones were on Final Fantasy Anthology for the PlayStation. I tried those. Oh, no, that's not a JRPG. Not a traditional one. Never mind. I was going to name another one that I beat that was on PSP, but I don't think that's a traditional JRPG. It has spills. It has thrills. I remember Shadow. That's all I remember about it. He's in that one, right? Or is he in the one before? I don't remember. Uh, I'm trying to think of any other RPGs that I tried but did not beat. I watched someone play Thousand Arms. I think that was the dating sim one. That did look interesting to me. I didn't like. I was like, it seemed. I was a little. It was a little weird watching dating sim for the first time, but I got it. I like later. I was like, okay, I guess 3, 3, I think, and 6. Yeah, has the same thing. He's in it. Yeah, I did try 6 a little bit. I tried Chrono Trigger. I tried Earthbound. I have to beat those though. Those were actually pretty good and something that I would play. But I, oh, and Chrono Cross. Chrono Cross is actually the fifth. So it's 6 actually. I forgot about Chrono Cross. I did play and beat Chrono Cross. Um, there were quite a few more that I tried. Oh yeah, 8, 9, 12, 13. The first 13. I tried all of them. The only one that I had trouble getting into was 13. I'm gonna go back and play that one day, probably on stream. But yeah, I saw 13 too, and Lightning Returns, and that made me want to get into 13 as the whole series. So yeah, because I really like Lightning Returns actually looked really fun. And I was like, okay, I need to get into this. So I was like, I'll give it another shot one day. And there were others, I'm sure, that escape my memory right now, but I did try a lot of RPGs. I just didn't get to finish them. You beat FF14. Did I? They still have they got more uh things now, right? More expansions. I didn't do Ending Walker yet. And what was the other one? Shadowbringers. I didn't beat Shadowbringers, but I beat everything before that. And now that they have uh Voracious Resurgence for 11, I have to finish that. I guess I could consider it beat if I beat the story. I mean, I know a lot of people do that. It's kind of unreasonable to try to 100% that game and then say yeah it's beat. Well, technically it is, but you can't expect that with everyone. So we'll just stick to the story. Beat Tsukiyomi, and that was the hardest boss for the longest. Yeah, that boss was not fun. I had to do it. I think I had to do it twice because I died the first time, and then I had to just hold out for the second time. I was just hold out while my team because I was tanking it. So yeah, I don't. That was the one with the white and black floor, right? Where you had to play hopscotch on the white side and the black side. Was that what it was? I think that's what it was. Yeah, yeah, that's what. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, and the guy with it was something like that. The guy with the chainsaw. I remember that. I think I might have been part of the same thing or something around that. Yeah, it's kind of It's a little hazy for me now because that was a long time ago when I played that. Well, it was that long ago. It was like, when did I beat that? I beat that in 2018, 2019. That story, and then Shadowbringers came out. I only got to the second dungeon in that. You have to block a soldier's. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Otherwise, it'll break the island and kill everyone. I think that was the same as the cup and ball game, right? No, ain't that the same fight? The cup and ball game. I don't know why I keep bringing that up. I'm sorry. I just thought, man, I was like, man, why did they do this to me, man? I gotta guess right. If you guess wrong, everybody, you're it's always the white. The white mage gets put in the cup. You gotta guess which one he's under. It looks easy, but they kind of flip it a little bit. They switch it. They do like a little trick on you. And if you guess wrong, your white mage dies, and you can't win after that. You're going to lose because he's the only one that can raise, and he's dead. So you might as well just wipe after that. I saw Atelier was on sale. I was collecting those for the RPG extravaganza that apparently that I'm gonna do. Got a lot of I like the genre. I just realized it just occurred to me that I never actually beat that many of them, which actually was very surprising. I just never really noticed. I played a lot of I like RPGs in general, yeah, but Western RPGs, yeah, I played probably and beat more of those than JRPGs. So I kind of like blended in the genre together a little bit. But if we're talking just JRPGs, I've only beaten like six of them, so I gotta fix that. That's the thing. Okay, we got the base colors in for the background and the foreground. We're going to stop it there. I wish I could go on, but I cannot. Maybe one day. All right. So I want to thank all of you for coming out to the stream today. Tomorrow, I'm going to try to stream again, same time tomorrow, sometime around 9. We're going to be laying in the shadows of the color. If you're free and you stop by, I will see you tomorrow. Thank you so much. And I will see you tomorrow if you are free. Take care and have a great day.